So I figured best just take it down, get it over with.
So a nice article on that football team.
Yeah, I think they're gonna suck.
Or, you know,
It's tough.
they're in the toughest league in the area.
It's tough, and it's, we just have no size on the line. Like when my son was play center, he's 6'4", 210. That's small. They have another kid playing offensive tackle who's like 6'4", 215.
Yeah, that's still small.
She hasn't been able to.
Yeah, so they're just
That's how talented
yeah.
they're little. And then
Defensive line were okay.
if
just
you have
offensive
an
line.
injury, you're putting a sophomore.
Get 1 minute.
One
It
minute.
doesn't matter how big the sophomore, he's still a sophomore.
Still tough. I know.
And when we get out of the league next year,
I'm going to do a last call. If there's anyone here that wishes to address council this evening, you would need to sign in on the sign-in sheet to address council. We're going to start the council meeting here in about 1 minute. Everybody ready?
Yep.
All right. We now convene the regular Norton City Council meeting of Monday, August 18th, 2025. We call it to order. Please rise for the Pledge of Allegiance and invocation. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Heavenly Father, Lord, as we gather here today, we just ask that you help us to make wise, sound decisions. Lord, we just thank you for our police and for our firefighters and our military that are defending our freedoms every day. It's in your name we pray. Amen.
Amen.
Will the clerk please call the roll?
Mr. Lukens,
Mr. Lucan is excused this evening.
Mr. Towsley,
Here.
Mr. Ader,
Here.
Ms. Lee,
Here.
Mr. Mowry,
Here.
Mr. Harbert,
Here.
Mr. DeHarpart.
Here. Moving on to communications from the public. There are several this evening, and I'm actually going to start with Mr. Glenn Yasko. If you would like to approach the podium and state your name and address for the record, and you have 5 minutes.
My name is Glenn Yasko. I live at 3717 Ora Avenue here in Norton. I want to thank you for your time. I want to thank you for the service in our community. I am concerned about the proposal of the development of the former limestone property. I live roughly 600 feet from that property, and I'm the second road over from it. There's people that live less than 300 feet. Noises, we know nothing about this project. There's not another one like it. We would, as a property owner, my major asset is my home, like most. In the past, when the hydroelectric project was proposed, there was a land manager that came by. We were not in the buyout because of the high tension lines, but we were close enough. The land manager came by and we signed a contract that if we did not like what was occurring to our environment or didn't want to live there anymore because of the development, we had 6 months to try to sell our house with a realtor. If we were at fair market value pre-construction, if we were not successful, they would get a realtor on their own and try to sell it for 6 months. If it did not sell in that 6 months, they would buy us out. We would like to see some sort of property assurance because we don't know anything about the noise potential or the carbon footprint. 1 megawatt generates 884.2 pounds of carbon dioxide. They claim that their target is 0. My target is I want to retire a millionaire, but that didn't happen. I would just be a little more comfortable if the company would step up and offers a property assurance. And that is all I have to say. I want to thank you once again for your time.
Thank you, Mr. Yasko.
Thank you.
Next up, we have Mr. Richard Barlow. Please state your name and address for the record, Mr. Barlow, and you have 5 minutes.
Won't need it. Hi, folks. My name's Richard Barlow. I live at 2595 Berry Road. I'm here today about the truck traffic on my road. It's residential, speed limit is 25. I want to thank Norton Police Department and Jamie Lukens for attempting to help me out. I'll get to the point. There's a business at the end of my road, Butcher and Son Excavation. They drive up and down the road in the morning and the evening, 2 trucks, 25-mile-an-hour speed limit. They're easily, I have seen them going 40 or better. I just like to see them slow down. I don't want to throw them out. Everybody got to make a living. I have grandkids. I've gone down and talked to them. I've talked to Jamie and I've talked to the police department. So far, nothing has gotten done. I just like you to consider, what can be done. Get them to slow down. I mean, they're semi-trucks and trailers in a 25-mile-an-hour zone. That's all.
We will,
Sir, the police chief will be watching this meeting. I'm sure he's watching it right now.
Okay.
And he will personally reach out to the company.
Thank you. And that's what Jamie reached out to the chief of police and spoke with them.
Okay.
Like I say, it's kind of where it's at.
Okay. There's also a spot on the city website under the police department
Okay.
where you can fill out information on speeding on a road.
Sir,
Where it would help them get the information about the speeding.
okay.
So it goes right directly to the police department. So
Jamie-
that's on
Jamie
the
know
city
about that,
website.
then?
yeah.
If I spoke with Jamie,
Yeah.
would he know?
Yeah.
about
Oh,
it?
yeah, Jamie knows.
Yeah.
But, that's all.
Either way, the police chief, he'll
Yeah.
get it nailed
Yeah,
down
it's
for you.
just something, like I said, I come from a family of truck drivers. I know that they've been there longer than I have,
Yeah.
and they gotta make a living. It's 2 trucks. The one guy I've spoke to, the driver, great, slows down. You can hear him back off when he comes down the hill. Very considerate. The other guy,
Not so
whoever
much.
may be,
Yeah,
not so.
not so much.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
All right?
Thank you.
Appreciate
Thanks,
it.
folks.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you, Mr. Barlow. Have a
Yep,
great
go
evening.
Panthers. Yes, sir. All right. Take care.
Nice.
Next is Mr. Dave Samick. Mr. Samick, please state your name and address for the record, and you have 5 minutes.
My name's Dave Samick. I live at 4038 Greenwich here in the lovely city of Norton. I've been here for about 20 years. I've also been a police officer, fireman, and an EMT for one of the cities just a little bit west of us. And I own a cybersecurity company. I have for close to 25 years. And I put this packet together to hand out to all of you tonight because another client of mine, another city in Summit County, came back to me and didn't realize that House Bill 96 affected them. House Bill 96 was put together by the state of Ohio and signed off by the governor back in June, that, for lack of a better word, mandated that all cities and government agencies in the state of Ohio put together some type of cybersecurity plan to thwart a cyber attack in the event that something were to occur, to stop the payments to ransomware, to provide training to everybody in a city or government agency so as they would understand what to do and what not to do in the event of a cyber attack or cyber ransomware incident. So I put together this packet based off that conversation I had with him. At some point in time, if the city administration would like me to come back and speak a little more in depth about the cybersecurity pieces that we put together for the cities. With my past experience, I've worked with Ohio Leads, which is the database that essentially controls law enforcement and what they do. They're under the CJIS requirement, and that's been ongoing for probably about a decade. When the government or the governor put together this particular package of House Bill 96, it really doesn't have any teeth to it per se, but they will audit the cities, and you have to provide them with some type of mechanism or show them that you've put something together to show that there's no negligence, that you've actually thought about it and put together sort of an incident response policy on what you would do in the event that a cyber attack were to occur. So I just wanted to bring awareness to everyone around that, so as if there were to be an incident in the city of Norton or your surrounding communities that you connect to, that somebody would have an idea on what to do. And other than that, reach out. I appreciate everybody's time, and thanks for tonight.
All right.
Sir,
Thank you, Mr.
sir,
Samick.
so our fire chief is the person responsible for anything emergency management related. His name is Chief Pap, and he will get this tomorrow morning, and then you would follow up with him.
Okay, all right.
Thank you.
very much.
Appreciate it.
Thank you.
Moving on to Miss Michelle Yasko. Please state your name and address for the record, and you have 5 minutes.
My name is Michelle Yasko, 3717 Aura Avenue in Norton. I have concerns about the data center. They had stated that they will reduce the CO2 that's released into the air, but not completely. I'd like to know how much CO2 would be released, if that's possible. I have COPD, so I have worries about that. Also, in the Planning Commission meeting, in the minutes, when I watched it, the video, they stated they will not be using Barberton City water. They will not be taking any water from Lake Dorothy, but they will be taking it from underground. If that happens, what's going to happen to our wells? Because what I have found in these centers is that they use millions of gallons of water, and they mix it with glycol in the cooling systems. And they had also stated that once that was run through, I don't know how many times they can recycle it, it would be released into the Hudson Run. That is a concern also. Also, the sound pollution. A lot of places where these have been put in, it has driven the wildlife out. And in that area, there are deer, turkey, and eagles. What's going to happen to them? Those are my main concerns, and I just wanted to address the council with that. Thank you.
Appreciate that. Thank you.
Thank you.
Next up is Leonard Blankenship. Please state your name and address for the record, and you have 5 minutes.
Good evening, council. My name is Leonard Blankenship. I live at 4382 Rock Cut Road. So, what's brought me here, much like some others out, is the potential data center in the old PPG property. I was completely unaware of this until my neighbor, Costco, brought it to my attention a couple weeks back. I'm kind of surprised that such a large venture made it this far in the planning stages before the community effectively got wind of it. I do share concerns that have already been addressed regarding the potential for noise pollution, light pollution, the water drain. I think the water table drain could probably be controlled if it was done in slower increments. I did watch the meeting minutes from the previous BZA, and the question was raised to the gentleman from Langley about what was the initial draw to fill the system. That question was not answered. I don't want to seem cynical, but I think that was a prime opportunity for the inventor of the system, that was Mr. Dale Hobby. I think if the inventor of the system, he probably could have offered a ballpark gut, his gut feeling as to what that value would have been. If it's an astronomical number, that would cost confirm to the property. If it was a small value, I think he would have spouted off that information readily to ease public concern. The fact that between the gentleman from Langen and the developer of that system, the fact that nobody spoke up regarding capacity, that's concerning. Concerns that were already raised about the wildlife impacts. I can respect that. It's peaceful in Rock Cut. Last house on the left, I had 2 fawns and a doe bedded down in the backyard, and I walked out the door to come to this. I'd kind of hate to lose that. By the same token, I understand that this is prime developable property, and it would be foolish to think that that property goes unused. Eventually something is going to come in there. I would just like some sort of assurance that Norton Council and BZA does right by the residents to ensure that if a facility comes in, that they meet noise requirements. Check all the boxes. There's got to be regulations that would be associated with something like this, and I don't want to sit out on my back porch and hear a low-pitched droning noise coming from 2,000 feet away. I may have snuck back in there just to get a feel for it, to see what was going on. But I'd like to know what their vision is for this, what kind of a noise analysis has been done prior to, and what they predict for the noise output once everything is up and running. Noise output and the water table, I think, are major concerns. That's all I've got, people. Thank you for your time.
I appreciate
Thank
Mr.
you.
Blankenship. And last but not least, Mr. Rod Moore. Please state your name and address for the record, and you have 5 minutes.
Thank you. I'm Rod Moore, and I'm here representing the property owner at 3700 Limestone Drive. And I'd like to hopefully address several of the items that were raised this evening and to help educate council as well on some details on the project, which were shared during the Planning Commission meeting last month. We have, and I say we, representing the developer, the development team, as well as the engineers, are still putting together things, but I have some information I can share specifically with respect to water. There will be investigations into the capacity that's available in the wells and boreholes that can be drilled on that property. And while I understand there's a concern about how many gallons it will take and perhaps a lack of transparency with respect to how many gallons the system will use, as of today, that number is still undetermined. And I have to praised my client for not providing a number, because the last thing I would want him to do would be to give you a number that is either far too low or far too high. So that number will be made available as the system is finally designed and as the process moves forward, because it is in its very preliminary stages from that perspective. It is a closed loop system, as was, I think, addressed by one of the previous comments, which will require relatively low levels of replenishment, namely if there is a leak, which would be problematic, obviously, for my client. But water would be drawn up on a schedule to avoid any impacts on the local wells and environment, a schedule that was dictated by what the studies will show with respect to capacities. And it is correct, it will not be serviced by public water except for administrative areas such as kitchens, toilets, and things like that. In terms of light, there will be downward lighting and LED, and I'm told that the technology is such that it will have minimum light impacts given the advances that there have been in those types of technologies. And it's anticipated that there will be relatively no impact on stargazing and astronomy activities. And lastly, with respect to sound, there will be a sound study performed prior to construction, and there will be certain metrics set in our agreements with the city as well as to what those levels, acceptable levels, will be pre and during and post construction. I think that was all that I had to address. Trying to piggyback off the comments that were made to be responsive. But if anyone has anything from council or the audience, I'd be happy to answer the questions that I am able to.
When I discussed with Bruce Source, his partner, earlier today, I know one of the other concerns raised by residents and council members was impact potentially to the electrical grid. Was there anything you could address on that?
Yes, so there will be no connection to the electrical grid, so there will be no interaction. It is completely independent from the grid, which makes it unique and hopefully very attractive to occupants and users of the data center.
And can you just remind them how it's actually going to be powered, both with the propane and then with the transmission lines of substations? My understanding.
So there'll be generation units on the property, which will be powered by liquid natural gas, and they will be in enclosures so as to reduce or eliminate noise. And there'll be walls, kind of like you'll see on the sides of the expressway, around those enclosures as a double buffer to prevent any sort of noise pollution that would come out of it. But yes, truly grid independent. There will be no, unlike the Barberton City water that we used for the kitchens and things like that, there'll be no tie into the grid whatsoever. Those areas will be powered by on-site generation. And I did overhear a comment about battery storage, and the project does not contemplate that there will be batteries on the property, aside from phones and things in this room that have batteries. So.
Mr. President, I have several questions.
Thank you, Mr. Tennant.
First, I would like for your company, if you could, to provide a frequently asked questions list that you could provide to the city, that the city could provide to residents. Much of the questions that were asked this evening to help residents understand a little better. I have a question. You talked about a closed loop. Today I had listened to a radio program. I can't remember the guy. Mr. Yasko actually turned me on to the author in San Francisco. And he had stated that the closed loop, because of corrosion, it has to be renewed much more frequently. What is, I don't expect you to answer me tonight, but what is the difference between what you're offering and what has been standard up to this point?
So I will have to defer to the actual inventor. I can't speak to that. I'm just a lawyer.
Right.
But I can tell you that in the planning commission meetings, one of the gentlemen, actually the chair of that, was very familiar with these types of systems and quite frankly spoke very, I think, intelligently and convincingly with respect to the lack of needing to re-energize the systems. And namely, that would come from a leak, which would be something that's monitored 24/7 and would be quite problematic when you're dealing with computers and things, servers containing very important data.
As far as the water goes, to ease concern, why not just use Barberton water? Why, is it because there's chlorine in the water, or what's the obstacle to just using public water?
I can't answer that.
I think that would be a big deal to
Okay.
people, including myself. I live very close to there with a well.
Sure.
And I kind of need my well. I do have a further question. I don't know, this is for the administration. Because there's a lot of concerned people here, can we be given the process that's going to go? This is a little bit different on how council's involved
Yes,
and just what the process is going to be.
So, Mr. Towsley, this is how this will work. So, the applicant went to Planning Commission first for preliminary site approval. And that's where it was a broad discussion. Tomorrow, they go to BZA. And BZA is very, it's a focused discussion on they need a variance, and the variance is for height. And so the only thing that will be discussed tomorrow night will be the issue of height. So all those other issues that got presented at Planning Commission will not be discussed tomorrow, only height. And then the next step in the process is to go back to Planning Commission for final approval, and that's where there'll be another imagine lengthy presentation and discussion and questions hopefully answered that were asked tonight in depth. And then the last piece will be before the end of the year, based on what council does this evening, council will approve a use agreement that's been in place for 30 years.
Yeah, there's an existing agreement regarding development of a hydroelectric generating facility in the mine. So there would have to be a termination of that agreement, which is what the current use of the property permits. Basically dumping Lake Dorothy into the mine shaft every night and turning a turbine and pumping it back up. So that's the current agreement. And in order to develop the new facility, that agreement would have to be canceled and a new agreement entered into between the city and the property owner. Under the current zoning I-2, the facility is permitted, but under the current development agreement, it's not permitted. So that would be a council action to amend that.
So although you don't have veto power, if you will, on the Planning Commission's recommendation, you do ultimately have last say because you will approve or deny the development agreement.
How far ahead are planning commission meetings posted on the website for
Yeah,
anybody
the
who wants to?
the applicant needs to submit 10 days prior to the meeting. So there should not be a meeting. I think that date I gave you was the 26th or the 28th, or the second and fourth Thursday.
28th, I think.
28th.
Yeah.
So the applicant has not applied to be on that last planning commission meeting in August. So I'm sure they intend to be on in September or October.
So if a resident were to look on the city's website, they have several days' notice that would be posted on the website.
Yeah, and also all residents can sign up from the website to receive notification. You get an email and/or a text message with the agenda sent to you of all our meetings.
I think that's all I got at the moment.
And
Thank you.
I just wanted to mention the action tonight. We have the right to buy the mine from the company after September of this year. They've asked us to extend that till the end of the year to continue negotiations on their proposed development. And so that's the action council has before them tonight, just to dovetail into that development agreement.
Yeah.
So just if there's questions about that. But that does not, what's going on tonight doesn't permit the development, doesn't do
Right.
anything to shortchange the process, it just pushes back our ability to buy the mine from underneath the property for 1 million and change. So that's what that does.
Thank you, Mr. Markey.
Yep.
President, I had a couple questions. How long has this project really been in the works, would you say? It seems like it's just come to, vision right now.
It's hard for me to answer that. So the inventor this is his life's work. With respect to identifying this particular property and acquiring it, the current owner has been in title for, and I say current owner, the ownership of the entity that owns the property and has owned the property for decades has been in the last couple of years. So.
Has been in the works. Is he like a project manager for the project itself?
It's hard to describe him. He's the brains of the operation.
Is he from out of state? Where is he located?
He has relocated to Ohio for this project. He's from Florida, by way of other states, but yes.
I get this question a lot. What is going on right now at the project? Is there any people there? Is there any kind of construction? Is there any buildings where the mine shaft used to be? It used to be like locker rooms and stuff. Is it all flat now? People like to know that.
It is all flat now. There are some foundations, but just concrete that's been left over. There is no activity on the site. Well, there's probably activity on the site, but not related to the ownership or the owners. There are, various recreational things going on, but the owner is taking steps to end that activity.
There's like a plate or something that is on top of the opening. So
Yes.
it can be removed and access. Elevators are all gone.
Right. They may be in there, but they are not usable.
Okay.
I think they're kind of crashed in there. What I
General question people want to know, myself too, how far along is it? Have they've been pulling permits, or I know there've been a lot of conversation between now and then. Are they pulling permits yet, or getting any kind of okayness from the EPA or anything like that?
No, these are sort of the preliminary activities that are going on here because, a no at this level is, the rest of it's meaningless.
So it's probably best for the residents or council members to go to the BZA meetings or planning commission maybe to ask questions and show attendance. Okay.
I do have one more.
Go ahead, Mr. Townsley.
I don't recall. Do you know the fuel used to fuel the generators?
Liquid natural gas.
Liquid natural gas. So that can't be done through a line in the ground then because
Correct.
it's liquid.
It would not be under this proposed development plan. It would come in tanker cars.
What is the danger to the community with that, or is there one?
I can't speak to that, but tomorrow the inventor will be here and he can speak on behalf of that, and I can't speak.
They would be working with the fire department to make sure everything complies with fire code and all the proper requirements are met.
I would
Basically
assume
under
that
state
the
law.
property would have large tanks to hold it.
Yeah, I don't know. the
They
answer to
they
that.
would be in the cars and kind of offloaded. And I think the cars would be directly
Oh,
offloaded
and then
into
just
the
sent
generation.
back when they're empty.
Correct. Off the goal would be to have them come off the railroad spur.
With all the construction and everything going on around the mine area, a few years from now, what are the chances of anything in that area starting to sink or whatever? There are homes that have been known to do that because they've been placed on top of what used to be a mine or whatever, and then it disrupts the life of the families that are there.
Sure. So there would be no excavation activities with respect to the mine contemplated under this project. Also, the mine is approximately one Empire State Building below the surface.
Of
So-
limestone, yeah.
Of limestone, yes.
Yeah.
So there wouldn't be any disturbance of there's no planned disturbance of the mine. This would simply be a rectangular structure that's placed on the property, similar to like an office building. It'll look like an office building.
Question. like, everyone's in it, when you have a business to make money, but what would you say would the finished product will come out of it all? What will be presented to the public as this is what we came up with, this is what we manufacture, this is what we make, what would you say it would be?
I cannot speak to that. I do know that the planned investment is hundreds of billions of dollars. The facility itself will be.
I'm just wondering what is going to come out, what's the final result of, hey, this is, like, hey, when you have a car factory, you got a finished car.
Yeah.
You got, day chip plants, you got a finished day. But you can't really tell me what's going to be the final verdict.
I can't speak to that myself. No.
Okay.
It's gonna be, wouldn't it be data coming over fiber lines, the final project?
So that will be part of it, yes. In terms of what that's valued at, I can't speak to it.
Okay.
Economics.
I do have one more, not a question for you, but the interview I was listening to today, and I understand it's a different state, so maybe it doesn't matter, but they said a problem that communities run into is they have no code for data centers. Is that something that we should be looking into specifically? Do other communities have codes, and should we look into having a code saying what a data center can and cannot do within our community?
Yeah, we do not have a code, and it probably, I know we're going through the comprehensive plan review now. That's going to be coming to council here pretty soon. The plan is to update our zoning code the following year, and it would make sense to have something addressing data centers. There's not huge amounts of open land that are for sale that would be appropriate for data centers. I-2 is the zoning classification we think is most appropriate for data centers. It's the most or least restrictive use in the city, but it would make sense to probably address those.
What does the data center, what does it do for the city of Norton and the residents? What kind of an impact does it have?
So there's, and I don't know the numbers off the top of my head. There are, jobs that are associated with it. There's technicians, there's construction jobs, and there's technicians, and there's a large property value constructed, but it's not like what you're thinking. It's not like a factory where people are showing up. It's more in line with security and technicians,
They probably have their own
full-time
people
jobs.
too.
What's that?
They probably have their own people, their own core of workers that they have that they bring along.
Yeah.
If there's anything else like this around, we can compare it to, the residents will say, hey, this is what's going to happen.
Yeah.
So I want to know more about what's going to happen tomorrow.
My research says there's 119 data centers in Ohio, but I don't know that they're going to be the same as this one.
Yeah, I don't know either.
We don't have an answer to that either.
No. And Mr. Lauer and I were talking. We'll get a lot of the things you're asking about, like pictures of the elevation, what the building's going to look like. Try to put together a web page where all the information, existing development agreement, right, as things are happening, we could hopefully get that updated so everybody has a place to go to get all the information.
That'd be great. Anything else? All right, we will move.
She sign up?
Yep, ma'am.
Nope, ma'am.
You're up.
You
Yeah,
can, but you have to
can.
come to the podium. Give your name and address.
Do I have to state my name?
Yes,
You do.
please.
My name is Susan Dayton. I live at 4474 Cleveland Maslin Road, Norton. And you keep talking about the inventor. I think inquiring minds want to know who the inventor is.
He was here a month ago and will be here tomorrow.
We want to know who it is. I think we have a right. There's too many unanswered questions here. And I'm worried about how highly explosive this could be. On rails, we could have another East Palestine. And you're doing different phases, correct? This is just a first phase.
I can't speak specifically.
See, that's what I
Because
mean.
my
There's
time
too
is
many
up.
unanswered questions, if you ask me. It's not about the money for most of the people probably in this city. It's our lives. And I know what happened in East Palestine. You just look at those poor people and their health risks now because of what happened there. And there are nuclear towers. There are different types of towers. Why did your inventor, as you call
Need to
him,
turn around and
Please,
speak in the
please
microphone.
I'm sorry.
speak in the
Why
microphone,
did
thank
the
you.
inventor, why did they choose Norton, Ohio, right where the limestone mine is and all that water? That is my question. It just seems odd to me where it's highly populated, that they would put a center in like this, where you've got all this natural gas, you're gonna store compressed CNG or LG, liquefied gas, and if something happens on the rails, what about storage? How much is gonna go in storage? Nobody's asking that question, and it makes me wonder about nuclear, and I'm wondering if it has any connection to a company called Vistra, because I was looking online, I check it every once in a while, a few years back, thinking about the mine, because it's been, sitting there, and I don't know if there's been any activity, but I hear different things, and what I was gonna say about it, it's only one of a kind mine practically in the whole world like it that would be good for storage of nuclear material or maybe natural gas. I don't know. I don't know why they want to pick our spot. Think about it, just common sense. Why would you think about putting it in Norton, Ohio? Why would they put it in a highly populated area? It's too dangerous. And then the residents risk the fallout. That's what I'm saying. Like I said, there's too many unanswered questions. And this is just phase 1, correct?
You didn't answer that first time.
Yeah. So there's too many unanswered questions, if you ask me. And there's no direct benefit to the residents. You might get property taxes from them, the city, but I feel it's too high a risk for what they want to do. And there's too many unanswered questions on it. So I think about it before you think about getting all that revenue into the city and all these people that would be affected, because we would take the blow of anything that could happen from that data center being located there. Why isn't it in a remote area, off a rail somewhere, if they want to tank it in a more rural area rather than a city where there's a high population? That's all I'm saying. Thank you for
All right,
your time.
Thank you.
We will now move on to the committee work session. Finance, I acknowledge the receipt of the July 2025 financial reports. And next, we will move on to property and mines. Ms. Lee.
Thank you, Mr. President. This ordinance number 76, 2025, is in regards to some metal file cabinets that needs to be discarded. These are drawers that are very old, missing locks, broken drawers, things like that. They are no longer being used and no longer needed. So we want to ask to move ordinance number 76, 2025 to tonight's agenda for its first reading.
Mr. Maury, you'd have to second that.
Second that.
There's a motion and a second to add ordinance 76, 2025 to tonight's agenda for first reading. Will the clerk please call the roll?
Ms. Lee?
Yes.
Mr. Mowry?
Yes.
Thank you. Moving on to service, Mr. Towsley.
Thank you, Mr. President. This is about a culvert repair on State Route 21. Last time council was in session, we had passed legislation to seek funding. Good news is we did get a 90% grant. So the total on the project is $77,756 through Kavanaugh Building Corporation. Norton's cost would be 10% of that. I think that's really all I've got. It's obviously it's an emergency for public safety. So my intent would be to move this evening if it's possible. And with that, I will make a motion to add ordinance number 77, 2025 to tonight's agenda with the intent of waiving the second and third readings.
And I will second. There's a motion and a second to move to add ordinance 77, 2025 to tonight's agenda for a first reading with intent to waive the second and third. Will the clerk please call the roll?
Mr. Towesley?
Yes.
Mr. DeHarpart?
Yes.
Mr. Ader?
Yes.
Thank you. Moving on to matters referred. Something here on 13.
Cannabis, the only thing.
Oh, it was the cannabis moratorium.
It's going to Pete.
Yep.
THC.
Which is going to the boards and commissions so they can make a determination what they want us to do for that for the future of that. And then we have consideration of minutes. I approved the minutes of regular council meeting of July 21st, 2025. Those are approved as submitted. And reports from officers, boards, and commissions. Mayor Zita?
Thank you. I have a few public service announcements, but we'll do that later on in the meeting. Thank you.
Thank you. Mr. Lowry, anything?
I'll have some public service at the end of the meeting as well, but I just want to remind everybody that tomorrow's BZA meeting will be topic specific on the variance of height. And so the members will be tasked to stay on point. So tomorrow's night's meeting is not the meeting to show up for broad discussion.
Thank you. Mr. Markey, anything this evening?
Nothing this evening, thank you.
Thank you. All right, moving on to introduction of new legislation. Ordinance number 76, 2025. Ms. Lee.
Thank you, Mr. President. I offer ordinance number 76, 2025 for its first reading and ask the clerk to read it, please.
An ordinance declaring certain city properties as no longer needed for municipal purposes and declaring an emergency.
And that's the first reading.
Thank you, Ms. Lee. Ordinance number 77, 2025. Mr. Towesley.
Thank you, Mr. President. I offer ordinance number 77, 2025 for its first reading and ask the clerk to read it, please.
An ordinance awarding a contract to Kavanaugh Building Corporation in an amount not to exceed $77,756 for the emergency repair of a culvert under State Route 21 in the city and declaring an emergency.
Thank you. As I stated a few minutes ago, due to the public safety measures on this, I would like to make a motion to waive the second and third readings this evening.
And I will second waiving those readings. There's a motion and a second to waive the readings on ordinance 77, 2025. Will the clerk please call the roll?
Mr. Towesley?
Yes.
Mr. DeHarpart?
Yes.
Mr. Ader?
Yes.
Ms. Lee?
Yes.
Mr. Mowry?
Yes.
Mr. Harbert?
Yes.
Thank you. At this time, I'd like to make a motion to adopt ordinance number 77, 2025.
And I will second. There's a motion and a second to adopt ordinance 77, 2025. Will the clerk please call the roll?
Mr. Towesley?
Yes.
Mr. DeHarpart?
Yes.
Mr. Ader?
Yes.
Ms. Lee?
Yes.
Mr. Mowry?
Yes.
Mr. Harbert?
Yes.
Thank you. Moving on to introduction of prior legislation, ordinance number 72, 2025. This is actually for Ms. Lee.
Yes, Mr. President, I offer ordinance number 72, 2025, and ask the clerk to read it, please.
An ordinance authorizing the administrative officer to execute an amendment to an agreement with Norton Energy Storage LLC and declaring an emergency.
And I'd like to waive the third reading on this, on 72, 2025.
Mr. President.
Yes. Mr. Towesley.
Just for the audience's sake, could we differentiate this between this and what's going to the planning commission?
Yeah, Mr. Markey, can you hit on that?
So as I mentioned before, we have the right to under the existing development agreement, we have the right to purchase the mine beginning in September of this year for its, I don't want to say the wrong amount, $1.6 million, something like that. So we could buy the rights to own the mine, subsurface of the property. They're asking us to delay that right till the end of the year so we can continue negotiating on this facility, which again will come, all of those will happen in the future. There's a future planning commission meeting, an agreement that still has to come back to council. This just delays our right to purchase the mine while they work on their project.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Yep.
Thank you. And so we're waiving the third reading and voting on this.
There's a deadline of September 1st is the reason for the
Yes.
waiver.
Yes.
Yeah. Thank you, Mr. Towesley. Yeah, so you'd need to make a motion to waive the third reading.
I'd like to make a motion to waive the third reading to ordinance number 72, 2025.
I need a second.
Second.
Are you on her board?
No.
Oh.
Who is?
That's good.
For a second.
Yeah, we're
Oh,
council.
committee of
We're
whole. Yeah, it
council
could be
now.
anybody.
Yeah.
Mr.
Okay.
Towesley seconded.
That's fine.
So there's a motion and a second to waive the third reading. Will the clerk please call the roll?
Ms. Lee,
Yes.
Mr. Tousley,
Excuse me, who seconded
I
that?
did
Mr.
not
Harbert
second it.
second.
Mr. Harbert.
Miss-
When you said
I thought you
Mr.
said
Tousley, yeah, just for
Yeah.
clarification, that's
Mr.
okay,
Harbert.
just to clarify. Thank you.
sorry,
That's okay.
you'll start over. Ms. Lee,
Yes.
Mr. Harbert,
Yes.
Mr. Mowry,
Yes.
Mr. Tousley,
Yes.
Mr. Ader,
Yes.
Mr. DeHarpart.
Yes.
And now I'd like to make a motion to adopt ordinance number 72, 2025.
I'll second.
There's a motion and a second to adopt ordinance number 72, 2025. Will the clerk please call the roll?
Ms. Lee,
Yes.
Mr. Harbert,
Yes.
Mr. Mowry,
Yes.
Mr. Tousley,
Yes.
Mr. Ader,
Yes.
and Mr. DeHarpart.
Yes. Moving on to public service announcements. Mayor Zita.
Thank you. I have just a couple of them this evening. The first is in regards to our quarterly newsletter. We've been working on, or have been over the last, probably the last year, been working on supplying newsletters, and the first copy, I think, was mailed out, and then in order to reduce costs and save money, we've been trying to eliminate that. Asking for residents, if they're interested to sign up, they can go on our city website. Basically, if you go to the city website, there's a pop-up, and basically it's easy to subscribe. It's a great way to stay up to date on events, news, and everything that's happening in Norton. So that might be another way to kind of keep up with current events. That will be delivered straight to your inbox once that's done. So if you just go onto the website, you'll be able to do that. If you have questions, you run into problems, we're here to help. But we have that. Also, the Akron Zoo, basically Summit County Community Appreciation Days for the city of Norton. It's free admission for this entire month of September. Tickets are good for one free visit. They must be reserved online and in advance. They'll be available online at akronzoo.org and are date specific. They will be limited to 4 tickets per household. And then for anybody who doesn't have a computer and have the computer access, they've sent us about 24 tickets here at City Hall, and we will have them at the front desk. So you can pick up tickets here, but they ask that you can, if you have a computer and you can use or get it online, to please do that to save the tickets that we have here for people that don't have access to a computer. But once again, we want to thank the Akron Zoo, and they're doing this to thank us, and it's Community Appreciation Days. But like I said, just putting that out there. I also have two other announcements. The Norton Historical Society will have their annual corn roast Thursday, August 21st from 5 to 7. Tickets are $15, and then 12 and under are for $5. There's basket raffles. They'll have Cyberling fresh corn and great side dishes, as well as desserts. So funds from the corn roast will help continue renovations at the one-room schoolhouse. So that is on the 21st. Then on the 23rd, I believe that's a Saturday, but it's from 9 until 2. Norton Women's Club, it's called Trash to Treasure Sale. They'll have lunch available, bring your own table, rent a space for $20. It's at the community center. And then they're taking any donations, that if you've got donations that you'd like to donate to help sell. It's just it seems like a rummage sale put on by the Norton Women's Club, but it'll be August 23rd from 9 to 2. And that is all I have this evening. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Mayor Zita.
You're welcome.
Mr. Lowry, anything this evening?
Yeah, thank you. I have 3, all personnel related. This afternoon, Mrs. Durbin, our street department office manager, gave her notice of retirement. Her last day will be Friday, September 5th. So we will post internally per the contract starting tomorrow. And once the internal posting is done, then when the dominoes fall, we will interview externally to fill the spot in one of the departments. We will be working with both civil service, council, and the administration to determine how we're going to proceed with the street department manager, filling Mr. Hess's position. And then lastly, as you're aware, I've decided to retire at the end of the year, and you all will be working with city administration on that prospect. That's all I have.
Thank you, Mr. Lowry. Moving on to topics for next meeting, Monday, September 2nd. OHM will be here doing the presentation on the comprehensive plan. I think this has been a long-awaited thing that council's been really, really wanting to see, so I'm excited to see what that looks like.
Mr. President?
Yes.
Mr. Lowry, just hopefully, I know you've sent the email already. If we could send Arthur a reminder.
I got an email.
It would be nice to see
I
something
got an email
prior to
from
9/2.
him this afternoon saying that he is still working on it.
Thank you.
As you can imagine, when you have not done a comprehensive plan in over 20 years, this is not a small thing. Nor will the code update.
Yep.
Yep.
Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Herbert. Non-agenda items, anyone have any non-agenda items for the next meeting? All right, being none, I will make a motion to adjourn.
Second.
All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Meeting adjourned.